Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Henry Joseph Samiri returns as Douglas, Hope and Thomas break big news. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers reveal that we've got some appearances and goings news to pass on, so let's launch with a familiar face who'll be back on screen soon. Henry Joseph Samiri is returning as Douglas Forrester and will appear in some new B&B scenes during the week of March 25th to 29th. Douglas preliminarily hoped Thomas Forrester and Hope Logan might have a real future together as a united couple. Although Douglas played matchmaker and surely embedded for his parents' love, he's about to get some bad news. Once Thomas makes a world-altering decision and shocks Hope with it, they'll realize they need to have a tough discussion with Douglas. It obviously sounds like Thomas will break effects off with Hope, and also, they'll give Douglas updates on their romantic split and the fate. Of course, Douglas will have plenitude of questions, and will clearly be dissatisfied over this stunning turn of events. Since Hope and Thomas' relationship sounded to be going so well, Douglas may not understand why they're suddenly breaking up. Still, Thomas and Hope may be vague about the details and assure Douglas that their collective love for him is what matters. Douglas will always have Hope and Thomas in his life, so they'll pledge that part's not going to change. Although Douglas may protest since he wanted to be a real family, Thomas and Hope may argue that they were formerly a real bone. Hope and Thomas have been over this with Douglas before, but it bears repeating. Families come by each different shapes and forms, so Hope and Thomas won't want Douglas allowing that they've to be a couple for them to be a family unit. Despite Douglas' ineluctable disappointment, perhaps Thomas and Hope can find a way to soften the blow if they explain this just right. Anyhow, it'll be nice to see Henry Joseph Samiri as Douglas again, since he always does an awful job in the part. In other appearances and goings news, Clint Howard is set to play a homeless man named Tom on April 26th and April 29th. Tom is supposedly a keeper of secrets since he'll give some significant suggestions to help break a riddle. Will that riddle involve Sheila Carter and her implicit survival twist? Time will tell, but Tom will have some intriguing hints and prognostications to offer no matter what. Thomas complains to Ridge, Hope and Steffi's tipping point. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for Monday, March 25th indicate that Thomas Forrester is devastated by Hope Logan's rejection and will rant to Ridge about this. Hope and Steffi Forrester's feud is out of control. Thomas Forrester allowed the time was right. Thomas had formerly proposed to Hope formerly, and she tried to tell him that she wasn't ready to take that step. Unfortunately, Thomas's ill-timed alternate offer didn't fare much better. Hope studied that Thomas understood that she demanded further time before taking this step, but that didn't swap veritably well. Thomas truly allowed that he and Hope were getting off on the right bottom this time and could make a go of the relationship. After all, this time nothing was grounded on falsehoods and deception. They were both in this because they wanted to be and had their eyes wide open. Thomas doesn't understand where he went wrong and thinks Ridge can help. B&B spoilers. Hope Logan is hurt too. Hope doesn't want to jump into a marriage that could end up in divorce and hurt both of her children. Hope knows that Douglas Forrester wants her and Thomas to be together. Right now, Hope feels like what they've is enough. Why should they rush effects when they're going easily so far? Hope doesn't want to rock the boat, but she also doesn't want to lose Thomas. Hope doesn't understand why Thomas cannot just give her some further time. Why does a decision have to be made now? Effects were going just okay until Thomas proposed again. Now everything is falling piecemeal. Can Hope and Thomas fix this? B&B spoilers. Thomas complains to Ridge, Hope and Steffi's tipping point. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. The gloves are off. Steffi isn't about to back down when it comes to Hope and Thomas. Thomas has put so important work into getting a better man and getting over his preoccupation with Hope. Thomas allowed that Hope had accepted this and gotten past it. Still, Steffi had tried to tell Thomas each along that Hope was using him. Steffi has brazened Hope about this further than formerly, and yet she continues to use Thomas over and over. Thomas has come nothing but a boy toy to Hope, and Steffi isn't going to stand for this. Hope is acting just like Brooke Logan, and Steffi tells her as much. Steffi and Hope's feud nearly comes to blows. Where will it go from then? How Deacon learns Sheila is alive. Homeless man brings twin revelation. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers reveal that Deacon Sharp may be in for a shock if Sheila Carter didn't actually corrupt at the Precipice House. Our prognostications point to Sheila surviving rather, so it's just a matter of how that happened and how everyone on oil will find out. Of course, we should start with Deacon Sharp's discovery, since loved Sheila when the rest of the world considered her unlovable. Cleric is really floundering without Sheila now, but he could get the stunning news that she's alive down the road. Clint Howard has been cast as Tom the homeless man, and we know he'll be part of unraveling a B&B riddle on April 26th and April 29th. That means Tom may reveal commodity as part of a Friday thriller before evolving once the following Monday rolls around. Since Tom is homeless, there has to be a reason why the pens included that detail when creating his character. We can suppose of multiple reasons actually, starting with the fact that Tom might be empty and in need of a hot mess. It's easy to imagine Deacon taking out the trash in the alley behind Il Giardino and chancing Tom digging around for leavings. Cleric is a good Joe, so he might invite Tom to take a seat at the eatery and enjoy a fresh pizza rather. It's not like Deacon has a lot of people he can entrust in since No Bone truly understands the bond he'd with Sheila. It makes sense for Cleric to maybe open up to a foreigner like Tom about his lost love. Maybe Cleric could show Tom a picture on his phone and set the stage for a jaw-dropping disclosure. Tom might fate Sheila and admit he preliminarily saw her sneaking around the alley where he tends to scavenge for food. That's when Tom could drop the real stunner. Perhaps Tom could say commodity about how the weird part is that there were two of them. When Cleric wonders what Tom's talking about, Tom might admit he formerly saw Sheila with someone who looked just like her binary. That could be the launch of Deacon figuring out that Sheila is alive while her old lookalike, Sugar, is the one who ended up deceased on the Precipice House bottom. Sugar was duped into having plastic surgery to look identical to Sheila, so Tom may flash back seeing double the trouble. Cleric might go back to that morgue adjunct and get her to recall that Sheila's body had 10 perfect toes, meaning she couldn't have been the real deal. Whatever the case, homeless Tom will be part of a riddle plot, so it makes sense for him to give Cleric updates and lead to the disclosure of Sheila's survival. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Deacon will reel over some big surprises when the time comes, so stay tuned. Deacon Sharp's grief. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers reveal that Deacon will still be mourning Sheila. In fact, actor Sean Cannon recently spoke to Soap Opera Digest about Deacon. You know, everybody is entitled to find love in their life, and I think Deacon has lived his life for a very long time without it, not to mention without companionship while he was in prison for 5 years. Cannon couldn't say what Deacon's future holds. The actor simply replied that it remains to be seen how Deacon will cope with his grief. Could Deacon end up finding comfort with someone unexpected? The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, Bill Spencer's competition? Fans remember that Sheila broke Deacon's heart to be with Bill, who was just playing her. It would be quite soapy if Bill lost Poppy to Deacon. Even though it would be too soon for Deacon to get frisky with anyone, could Poppy connect with Sheila's dead lover? What happens if Sheila is still alive? That could open up a whole new feud, so stay tuned.